Imagine you're in a sleek Silicon Valley boardroom, tech execs armed with stacks of data, long memos, and fancy strategies. Everyone nods, agreeing on the perfect plan to boost innovation. Yet weeks later, nothing changes. The same glitches and slow pivots plague the team. Why do we so often know what to do but end up frozen in place? That's the riddle Pfeffer and Sutton crack open. It's the yawning gap between knowing and doing. We're drowning in meetings, charts, and presentations. But does talking replace doing? Spoiler, no. Knowing feels like action, but it's often just smart smoke. At Siemens, executives spent months crafting the perfect strategy to outmaneuver competitors. Meetings multiplied, slide decks stacked up, and workshops hosted. But when push came to shove, no real changes rolled out. The company was trapped not by ignorance, but by the comfort of smart talk. Planning felt like progress, but it was just spinning wheels. Think of knowledge paralysis like standing at a crossroads with a map that's too detailed. You get lost in the details, afraid to make a move because maybe you chose the wrong path. Analysis becomes a shield. It's safer to plan forever than risk stumbling forward. But no risk means no change, just frozen potential. When companies break through the knowing-doing gap, they stop obsessing over perfect answers. They do the messy, uncomfortable work of starting, not waiting for flawless plans, but iterating on real action. The payoff? Breakthrough innovations and measurable gains because action creates learning, not endless talking. Fear lurks quietly inside organizations, invisible but lethal. It makes employees hide mistakes and leaders freeze decisions. How does fear build the wall between knowing and doing? At Aetna, calls about client issues went ignored because lower-level staff feared retribution. Executives wanted fixes but discouraged bad news, creating a culture where admitting problems felt like career suicide. So vital knowledge sat locked behind fear and the company suffered. Fear isn't a protective shield, it's a prison. Imagine trying to run a relay with everyone scared to touch the baton for fear of dropping it. The race grinds to a halt. Fear paralyses potential by teaching people not to risk mistakes, even small, valuable ones. Companies that close the knowing-doing gap make brave cultures. When teams feel safe to share risks and screw up fast, they learn faster and act bolder. Fearless cultures convert knowledge into action naturally, and that's the secret ingredient for lasting success. You can't improve what you don't measure, right? But what if you're measuring the wrong things? The authors show how misguided metrics widen the knowing-doing gap. 3M once obsessed over quarterly sales numbers, pressuring teams to nail figures every few months. This relentless chase stifled their legendary innovation culture because people prioritized short-term targets over long-term breakthroughs. Nearly every wild new idea was sidelined, until leaders reset measurement to reward innovation, not just sales. Measuring wrong things is like trying to win a marathon by counting how many shoes you own. Vanity metrics feel productive but don't reflect true progress. Organizations get hooked on numbers that look good on paper, yet ignore the underlying work that really moves the needle. When companies zero in on what truly drives success, customer delight, learning velocity, problem resolution, things shift. Teams align around real impact and the knowing-doing gap starts to close. What you track is what gets done, so pick your compass wisely. Remember that Silicon Valley boardroom swamped with brilliant chatter but stuck in place? Now you see the hidden cracks: too much talk, too much fear, and blind metrics. Closing the knowing-doing gap means flipping the script, cut the chatter, build brave cultures, and sharpen your focus on what truly moves the needle. Try this next time you plan. Ask yourself, what's one small step we can take tomorrow, not someday? Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.